MSU Interim President Teresa K. Woodruff joins me on MSU Today to elaborate on some of the topics she covers in her April 2023 Spartan Community Letter, which you can read by clicking on the Communications tab at president.msu.edu. President Woodruff, always appreciate your time.
Thank you, Russ. Glad to be with you.
And isn't this really the time of year, President Woodruff? I mean, all we do really points towards sending more Spartans out to do great things in the world.
I love it. It's really one of my favorite days of the year, this day, and then one in December. And I'm excited for each of our students as they walk through that line and put on their gowns of green. It's a beautiful resplendent color, and they are beautiful and resplendent in it.
And wow, the excellence of our graduates, more than 200 will graduate with perfect 4.0 grade point averages. It's just kind of amazing, and supported by our world-class faculty and staff, and even U.S. News and World Report continues to notice our excellence.
Right. We've got 4 programs that are ranked #1, and over 25 in the top registers of the U.S. News and World Report. And we're really pleased with the way in which our faculty achieve their excellence, and that in turn creates the right environment for our students.
And Honors College junior Victoria Fex is our 53rd Goldwater Scholar.
Boy, that's something to celebrate.
Yes.
This is a place where our students really succeed, and then we see them excelling in these nationally competitive programs that many other universities really look at us and see this as a place where these students arrive from as they move on from their time here. And I couldn't be more excited for Victoria, and certainly proud of MSU for its legacy and what it does to enable these students' success.
And another Spartan was honored for his service and engagement with his selection as a 2023-24 Newman Civic Fellow by Compass Compact. That's Jai Kozar Lewis, and he's a supply chain management first-year student.
Right. And, I think this is part of the, again, secret to Michigan State. Our students, like our faculty and employees, just are always about learning, but also about giving. And so he's all about providing his knowledge and expertise really in environmental issues across communities. And that's the kind of way in which we have outreach with impact. And that's really what Jai represents.
And congratulations to the 25 exceptional undergraduate and graduate students and alumni selected for the National Science Foundation Graduate Research Fellowship Program, along with our 8 honorable mentions.
Our graduate students and undergraduates are really exceptional. And the National Science Foundation really selects those who are the most outstanding across the United States. So this is highly competitive for our students in the sciences, technologies, engineering, and mathematics disciplines. And these students will now be enabled to pursue their master's and doctorates. And I look forward to supporting these students as they continue their pathway toward those advanced degrees.
And excellence is also a priority in the field of competition among Spartan student athletes. Right. And we recently welcomed a new head coach, and it's Okemos native Robin Freilich.
I've gotten a chance to meet Robin, and, she came in and immediately, started recruiting, and I've had the chance to chat with her a couple of times. She's really terrific. And she and her young family are here, and just immediately, I think it felt like home. And I think she's going to do a great job for Michigan State.
I agree. Full of exuberance and ready to go.
Right.
Yeah. And, President Woodruff, the new facilities go a long way in supporting our excellence. And among many projects, 2 really important groundbreakings recently, the world #1 School of Packaging and our finally a freestanding multicultural building.
This is a time of real extraordinary advances across this campus. The School of Packaging, as you mentioned, #1 in the nation, the only school that has a PhD program. We were able to cut the ribbon with a group of donors and industry leaders. And, if you go across any industry around the globe that is the top 100 in packaging, they are led by Spartans. And I'm so proud of the way in which Matt Daum, who is the director of that school, has led our packaging program, also a great alum In the Multicultural Center, boy, the roof was blown off the tent top for that event. And we filled the place with folks who are just so excited to be a part of the future of Michigan State through this new Multicultural Center. And I'm excited for where Michigan State has been, and most importantly, the fulcrum towards where it's going as it will be represented in this building.
And Earth Day is just behind us, and you have a key new hire in our new Director of Sustainability, Chip Amo.
Yeah, Melissa Wu and her team looked nationally for our new Director of Sustainability, and Chip is the real deal. He's going to come in and not only move us forward on the trajectory we were, but I suspect really move that upwards. And he is someone who has had a longstanding excellence in sustainability. And our folks are really excited about having him here, and I'm thrilled that he's joining us. And I think you know that we all talk about be Spartan green in our sustainability efforts, and he is already green through and through. So we're really advantaged by his presence.
And have you had a chance yet to see the wonderful exhibit that Devin Ackman and his team have opened this month at the MSU Museum? It's a collaboration with the Smithsonian Institution. I can get that out. Knowing Nature. What can you tell us about that?
I did, and it's really special, not only with the Smithsonian, but also with the Audubon. And I was able to meet several of our board members from the Smithsonian Institute who just have extraordinary praise for Michigan State and our museum and for Devin, and the way in which we are representing to the broadest group of people the opportunity to join us in learning more, like in Knowing Nature. And this was really about the boreal forests. And there's billions of birds that migrate largely at night, and these boreal forests are necessary for that as that habitat. And going to that exhibit will allow you to learn a lot more, as I did, about this part of our ecosystem. And really having this as a starting point for this exhibit that's then going to travel from here, and with the new assets that we build for accessibility, which is something Michigan State is absolutely committed to, is just going to add value to that program. And I know the Smithsonian, the Audubon directors are really thrilled. We're glad to be here for the opening with me, and we're excited about that exhibit. So I urge everyone to come before November 12th. I think that's an important date, so people can get in before that time.
And President Woodruff, as a Spartan nation, continues to sort of reflect and heal from the violence we experienced on February 13th. You've created a temporary office for resource and support coordination. Tell us about that and just your continued reflections as we do heal.
Yeah, and I just want to send my thoughts out to everyone who is continuing to grieve in their own way, and on this, what we call the long walk forward. And we're on a different pace, but on the same path. And we're going to get there together. And part of what we're hoping to do is to enable folks to be able to move forward, particularly those most affected in that violent event on February 13th. And that's going to be coordinated through the Office for Resource and Support Coordination. So I just ask all Spartans to be thoughtful and lift up those students and their families, and the office will be helpful in that. We also have a independent after action review group that we've identified, security risk management consultants. And we went through a formal RFP process to identify the right group for Michigan State. And I'm really persuaded, particularly by the fact that they're led by someone who was a head of campus police, who understands our size and scope, to come in and help us really think through the ways in which we can continue to work towards our ideal of a welcoming and safe environment.
So what else are you reflecting on this month and maybe looking forward to having happen before we talk again?
Well, I reflect on the word commencement and, to commence, even as you feel like it maybe should be called the accomplishment for some people. But it's called a commencement because we're commencing a new phase of our life after completing these degrees. And I think that as we move that tassel across, or some of our students are hooded with that doctoral hood, I really think it's a moment to think about the journey that we've all been on. And for students who've been here 4, 5, or 6 years, there's been a lot in their baskets as they've walked this MSU path, and they are stronger and more resilient as a consequence. And of course, Russ, we wish we could have taken those buckets from them. We wish their baskets were not quite as full. But as I think beyond the commencement and the graduation exercises for each of our colleges, those students are ready for both what is expected as a part of accomplishing their degree, but more importantly, they're ready for the unexpected. And that is going to allow for a better world any place a Spartan is. And that's what I'm looking forward to, thinking about that as I shake 9,500 hands, and I'm committed to it. I love those each moment as the students come and as they approach the dais as one person, and as they leave the dais as a new graduate on their way to something else. So that's really where my mind is focused, and I'm excited for this moment.
Very well said. And thank you again, Teresa, for sharing your insights with us this month.
Thank you, Russ.
That's Michigan State University's interim president, Teresa K. Woodruff, elaborating on some of the topics she covers in her April 2023 Spartan Community Letter. And you can read that by clicking on the Communications tab at president.msu.edu. And I'm Russ White. This is MSU Today.